Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Anime Brain Freeze. We are your unruly hosts.
I am John.
And I'm CC, and when there's just too much cool anime to watch, we've got you covered. Spring is here, that means another anime season, that means more anime premieres we get to talk about in the sneak peek. And after that, we're gonna kick off this jam-packed review season with a news outing from our favorite selection of Cursed Sorceress in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, The Culling Game, Part 1. So get ready to grab your Battle Royale rulebook, bring a bunch of blank pages to add some cheat codes on the fly, and definitely don't pause the pod, we'll be right back! Yeah, spring, not break, spring premieres are happening, and so of course we got our sneak peek ready, and gonna go through it just for newcomers. As usual, we have 3 sections in this, where we give you our 2 cents on the premieres from the new anime season we checked out, our nopes, our maybes, and our keepers. Nopes are the shows that we checked out and we're like, no, we don't need any more of that. Thank you very much. The maybes are the shows that have piqued our interest, but we're not quite sure where they're going yet, if they can hold our interests, so on. The last section are the keepers, shows that impressed us enough for us to think that we will stick around and watch them till the end and maybe probably review them. All right, so John has generally watched more shows than I did this time around. So, John, why don't you start us off with your first nope?
First nope is Kirio Fan Club. So, this is kind of a cute, whatever, slice of life-y story about a couple of girls who are crushing on this one boy, and they're kind of trying to prove to each other who likes him more, and it's kind of silly and goofy, but there's this other girl who might like him. Oh, there's competition rising. I think it's cute, but it's like,
it's not enough for you.
I don't dislike it, but I don't think it's enough. I think the camaraderie that these two girls, Aimi and Nami, sort of start to form between each other, that's cute, but I just don't think there's quite enough there for me. It's Satellite doing what they do pretty well. It's very pretty production. There's an episode where the two girls, like, sort of off the cuff write a song about this boy, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's, again, kind of funny the way they go about it, but it is what it is, and it wasn't enough to hold me.
A classic nope.
Pretty much. What do you got next?
I only have one nope, which, hey, considering I don't remember when the last time was that I actually had a nope. I was pretty good at filtering out shows that probably weren't to my liking before actually watching them in the last seasons. But this time around, I checked out Nippon Sangoku. And I don't know, the summary sounded pretty interesting. Post-apocalyptic, Japan fell into ruin and basically reverted back to pre-Meiji era Japan in a way. Like all the culture was lost and so on, and people are back on riding on horses.
This show, I had to look it up.
Yeah, it's on Prime, I think, or Disney. I don't know.
It's on one of them. Like, I knew the name was familiar. Now I remember I saw a preview video and I just sort of like shrug and walked away from it. But
yeah, so I thought the summary sounded interesting because, like, okay, what can you do with that? And it sounded like a bit of a political drama thing and maybe a Count of Monte Cristo-ish revenge thing, maybe, but it's partially that, right? But I also didn't know. This show is so fucking weird. First of all, the visual style is very interesting, but also not my type. Like, for the most of the first episode, it's mostly black and white, almost grayscale, I guess. At least very desaturated color palette, with only a few colors sprinkled in between. That is kind of eye-catchy. So it's like you have maybe just the sea in blue, or maybe some sprinkles of blood on the snow, only in red and stuff like that. And that can look cool. Problems are the character designs in this. They look weirdly rough draft, like it definitely has like this rough feel to it, and like the character designs are just this weird blend of sketchbooky and somewhat realistic, but also gross.
Yeah,
like, this is a very gross show.
I remember thinking that, looking at the preview and being like, I don't know how I feel about the character designs.
Yes, it's very like, I mean, I'm always okay if like a show diverts from your standard anime design tropes, right? You know, the more generalized style that most of the, I don't know, Shonen Action studios use or whatever, but or that go after a specific style from a mangaka or whatever. And this is definitely a unique style. That doesn't mean that I'll automatically like it, though. It's just, it's not that nice to look at, and I guess that is kind of intentional because this is a very ugly show in more ways than one. Like, I wasn't sure exactly what to think of after the first episode. If this is satire, it definitely has a satiric feel to it, absolutely. But it's also so dark and nasty in certain parts. Like, that starts with the opening introduction monologue of the thing, where it's just like, end of the Reiwa era. Japan suffered an overwhelming defeat in the Fourth Industrial Revolution at the hands of the USA, China, and other countries.
Oh, it's one of those stories.
It continues. In addition to the acceleration of declining birth rates,
classic,
and aging population,
classic,
and a major drop in education levels compounded Japan's deterioration. A nuclear war broke out, though Japan did not become a battlefield, because Japan obviously didn't start a nuclear war because we're the good guys.
Why would they?
Refugees poured in and infectious diseases spread.
Oh, Christ. No, I don't like that.
Right? It's like, okay, what is this? Nationalist party fear-mongering the show?
Yep.
I mean, it gets slightly back on track after that, like claiming that due to earthquakes and the wealth being concentrated in the hands of the, rich tech billionaires and politicians and rich politicians, including a thinly veiled parody of Meta. I think it's just called Weta or something, or Me Too. I don't know. Plus natural disasters, famine, people rose up, and a violent revolution occurred, which quickly led to the population shrinking to 10% of its former size. And then, like I said before, the modern culture was lost and everything. And it's fun. Like in the first episode, the to-be wife of the main protagonist is dressing in a classic Western wedding dress. And nobody knows what that is anymore and why she's wearing that. And she read it in a book and so on, right? So all of this is now in the past, right? A lot of that stuff got lost and everything. I guess our main character is one of those people who is very interested in the past and the history of the world and studied the cultures and knows about that stuff. But that is not common knowledge anymore. Like, people have just forgotten about it. And
well, at least someone is learning from the past in this story,
I guess. But yeah, so the setup is pretty interesting, and then it just turns into this violent, weirdly trying to be comedic thing with this magistrate guy, or I don't even know what kind of political office he's inhibiting, who is like this guy who punishes everyone with the death penalty that crosses his way, like a dude gets like quartered by horses, and then of course the wife of the main protagonist gets killed because she interfered with, I don't know, tax collection or whatever. And the guy, our main protagonist, kind of outmaneuvers himself out of that situation, and also gets the guy who's responsible for his wife getting killed by the evil politician instead, or as well as an like insta revenge, I guess, on his part. And then the episode ends with after, I don't know, him studying somewhere or whatever, returning to the city, and everything is in color, and I guess now he's here to take over the country or change the country. That's at least what he says, and take revenge, I guess, on the main bad guy, that weird politician. The setup, like I said, it's interesting, right? And that's why I wanted to check it out, but the show just looked so weird to me, and the tone was so off, and I didn't know what it was trying to do, and it just didn't click with me. It just didn't just didn't work. I wanted it to work. I like the ideas behind it, and I'm always interested in good satire, but this just felt off. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's a possibility of something interesting in there, but it also sounds like it's veiled with a whole lot of ew.
Yes, and like I said, there's so many like zooms on faces that are like spitting into the camera and very ugly, and it's just it's so in your face and gross, and like I said, I think that's intentional, but it's also not fun to look at. So I don't feel very enticed to just keep on watching this, and that's why it's a no. But hey, maybe if like by the end it's over, everyone says, hey, this is one of the best political drama, revenge story things ever, then I might go back to it. But right now it's a nope for me. So that's how it is. But hey, first nope in quite a while. I guess that is something. I don't know what, but it's something. Anyway, John, please give us your next nope.
Rooster Fighter.
Oh, really? Oh, shit, that was a baby for me.
I got like 4 episodes into this show, and I was like, oh, okay, so they're just going to keep making the same joke over and over that KG is a horny cock in the most literal sense of the word.
Yes,
like
absolutely. And I mean, I watched the first episode, and I was like, hey, I like this. Also, this is so much better animated than it has any right to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, the 3D is not terribly offensive. Like, I mean, the monster designs are unsettling, which, okay, yes, you can make the argument that they're supposed to be, because yes. But
the demons.
Yes, but I think the whole absurdity angle of here's this superpowered rooster and his friends is there's something to that. It's funny. I can see them very much deliberately taking shots at One Punch Man with this.
Probably, yeah. Also, I don't know. I just got some Yakuza vibes from it.
Yeah, a little
like,
bit.
Hey, here's the rooster of Dojima instead of Dragon. The rooster of Roppongi. I don't fucking know, but yeah. So it definitely feels like, hey, here's this hard-boiled, maybe even I don't know, Duke Togo or something, who's just going around and he's gonna take revenge for his sister that might or might not have been eaten by a demon, and also he's fucking every hot chick in the town. So
at least he's not going after the literal chick.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't expect that judging from the intro, it
yes,
look like there
but
was
even
something the show would indulge in.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, the first episode was very fun, and the animation on the demons was a bit jaggy, but Keiji, the rooster, is also often animated in 3D, and that looks actually really good. So I was surprised by that, and I liked the action and so on. But I was wondering, since I only checked out the first episode, exactly what you now confirmed. Okay, is this gonna be a one-joke show that is just gonna do the same thing in every episode? He's gonna, I don't know, try to fuck some lady, and also he's gonna kill a demon, and nothing else is gonna happen.
It wasn't every episode, but it started to get common enough that I was like, all right, okay.
Okay, bummer. But hey, I don't know, maybe I'll check out another 2 episodes and see if there's enough in there that makes me chuckle that I feel like I want to keep on watching this. But it was, for the first episode, it was a fun nonsense romp thing. So that's why it was still a maybe for me. But okay. Then it's a no for you. But I think you have another one, right?
Yes. This one should be a no, but it's also kind of a maybe because it's trashy and it's not a great, and I don't think it's a great show, but it's goofy and it's fun. It's Mistress Kanan is Devilishly Easy. It's about this demon girl who's the daughter, I believe, of Beelzebub. And
okay.
She's sick of eating regular food and she wants to feast on a prime human soul. So she goes to Earth and she finds this boy whose soul is like super duper whatever. It looks tasty to demons, I guess. and she hypnotized him. It's like, I'm going to devour you whole. And this boy's like, is this a sex thing? Is this a sex thing? And she's like, no, but yes, but no.
For question mark? I don't know.
So she's a demon, and she's starting to fall for this, like, admittedly boneheaded human, but he's super head over heels for her. And this is a rom-com that is definitely more com than rom, but I feel like they're sort of, the two characters are like 90% of the way there from the jump. So it's sort of like, okay, all right, we're sort of there, but it's dumb and it's stupid, and I openly admit to that, but watching the shenanigans is part of the fun, at least, and I should throw this into the trash, but I don't know, maybe I'll give it an episode 2 or more, see where it goes. It's very lowbrow. It's very stupid. I am willingly open to admit that, so...
I mean, as long as it makes you laugh, that's good enough, I guess.
It's gotten a chuckle or two out of me, so yeah, it's fun enough, I guess, but that's that. That is the end of the nopes, beginning of the maybes, I suppose.
Yes. Then I guess I will start us off with the first proper maybe. And that is Mao. The adaptation of the most current manga from Rumiko Takahashi. Just picking up from your Ranma quick review from the Quick and Dead last season.
Yeah, I sort of looked at this and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch another Inuyasha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gives big Inuyasha vibes. So far, neither the main female character nor the male character are as annoying as the main characters in Inuyasha. So, high hopes. We'll see. I definitely hope it avoids some of the Takahashi comedy tropes I'm not too fond of, at least not in big helpings. So, it's not isekai thing, I guess, but Nanoka, the main girl, gets transported back in time to the Taisho era, and she meets Mao, who's this shadow daddy, I guess, and his little helper, Otoya. And Mao calls her an Ayakashi when trying to cure her of her injuries. He also gives Nanoka an antidote, which seems to counter the power suppressant that has been apparently given to her unknowingly every day by her grandpa's maid. So I guess she has some secret powers, and some people don't want her to use those powers. And quickly after that, her powers manifest. And we also learned that Mao, who is an Onmyoji, is apparently searching for the creature, the demon that apparently cursed him, the demon cat. But or he is suffering from that curse. He doesn't really know who remembers. He doesn't really remember who puts the curse on him. He thinks the demon cat is responsible, so it's searching for it. And also whatever is going on with Nanoka is probably related to her parents dying in an accident right in front of the portal to the past when she was a child. So Mao is probably also involved and will turn out to be responsible for that accident happening. So you can already see a lot of the rails, right, leading into certain directions. You see certain story tropes, and it's like, okay, I can kind of guess where all of this is going to lead. The monster, Nanoka saw a monster when her parents had the accident, and she got out of the car safely, and that monster was probably Mao. He's probably the demon cat himself. I don't know. Who fucking knows? We'll see. But so far, it's not as loud. It's not as obnoxious as Inuyasha is in certain parts, where it's the same joke all the time. What was the main character's name? Female character's name? Not Kai.
Kagome?
The other Kagome. Yeah, she always gets mad at him and says sit, and he because he was an idiot for one reason or another, so said something that pissed her off, and that hasn't happened in the first episode yet between those two. Like, Mao is just kind of flabbergasted, doesn't really understand Nanoka, and she just kind of wants to get away from him because he kind of creeps her out, but also she's interested in him. And it's definitely, there's going to be some romance thing going on between the two later on, absolutely. But right now it's more like, what the fuck is happening here, and what the fuck are you doing? And not necessarily you annoy me or anything. It's just like, I don't know what to do with you. And the same from the other side. Just, he's like, behavior-wise, Mao is the complete opposite compared to Inuyasha, because he's very, like, he's very quiet, he's very matter-of-fact, and so on, and Inuyasha was very brash and loud, and I am the best and the strongest and whatever. Mao is exactly not that.
That sounds promising, at least.
Yeah, it sounds better. I mean, I liked Inuyasha to a degree. I wish the show didn't just tread water so much after a while, but...
yeah.
I thought the music was fantastic in the show, and the animation was good too, and everything. So hey, I don't even know who is animating this, but it looks good. Yeah,
because Inuyasha was a Sunrise joint, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure, yes, and yeah, a good-looking show. So we'll see. I might give this a couple more episodes. This looked like a pretty decent fantasy anime thing.
Oh, this is also Sunrise. Okay.
Nice. Yes. And we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I wouldn't mind having one of those shows around if it doesn't annoy me too much. And if I get some neat story stuff out of it. So
isn't that just the biggest snag in the world? If it doesn't annoy me too much.
I mean, this is a particular thing with both the Rumiko Takahashi shows I checked. I didn't watch Urusei Sayatsu, but I watched Ranma and I watched Inuyasha. And Rumiko Takahashi, especially when it comes to her relationships between her male and female characters, like her couple-to-be and so on. She just employs a lot of the old-school comedy stuff that I don't like. Where it's like, hey, guy misbehaves, the woman slaps him for it, and sometimes she just slaps him for no fucking reason because she's embarrassed or whatever. And I hate these kind of things. I don't like this style of comedy at all because it's so trite and so old, and I've seen it so many times.
I mean, it's easy to hand wave it as it was of a different era, but you know.
Yes, but and I guess if you were successful with this kind of thing, going back to the well again and again makes sense to me. And if it's if it's your sensibilities and you like that stuff yourself, of course you would keep on writing these kind of characters. But it doesn't mean that I want to see them. Get with the times, lady.
I mean, it felt... I didn't watch the original Ranma or Urusei Yatsura, but it felt like they kind of toned it back enough in the remade versions of those that I was like, yeah, all right, I can at least tolerate this.
And like I said, the character constellation right now in Mao feels quite different. So we'll see if they even fall back into the old... I don't know, the old tropey Takahashi trope thingies that I don't like. Maybe it's gonna have a different vibe to it and be more adventure-y and not as, I don't know, weird back and forth, will they, won't they thing forever and nothing is happening, and then the girl slaps the guy and the guy complains, and I don't know. So far, it doesn't seem like that is going to happen because Mao is just not that kind of character. He's not a Ranma. He's not an Inuyasha. So, and whatever the main male doofus from Urusei Yatsura was. So, definitely doesn't feel like that. So, I'm still hopeful. For now, John, what is your first true maybe?
Snowball Earth.
I thought about checking that out, but I was like, I'm not sure. So, how is it?
I honestly thought this would be one of our overlaps, but I guess I was wrong. Kaiju. They've kind of invaded Earth. Lots of them. A lot of them. So this boy, Tetsuo, his father is a scientist, and he makes this giant robot that is basically just going to be a bomb and blow up the kaiju. And, you know, sometimes giving your robot sentience isn't always a great idea.
Yeah.
because the robot is like, brother, I don't want to be a bomb. I don't want to just go out there, boom, and be done. So Tetsuo...
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, no, it's understandable from that perspective. So Tetsuo unwittingly hops into the cockpit of this robot and takes out one of the kaiju. And we sort of have this quick time lapse where we see Tetsuo growing up and the design of this robot that he eventually names Yukio because he's round and white like a snowball. Ha ha ha. We see the design of it gradually changing over time until they go into outer space to take the fight to the kaiju, and they get severely overrun. And Yukio sends the escape pod that is inside him back to Earth with Tetsuo in it. Tetsuo was put into cold sleep for 8 years, and when he arrives back on Earth, the whole planet is frozen over.
Oh. Nope.
A lot happened in 8 years. So now the remaining humans are just fighting for survival. You know, it's kind of hard when you're a tiny little human up against these gigantic monsters. So Tetsuo comes in with, he finds this like little shovel thing that you can ride on, and he kills a kaiju with it. And the humans that come by are like very suspicious of him and all that. It's like, who are you? What are you doing here? Tetsuo, he's a very awkward child. He's lived a lot of his life with Yukio as basically his only friend. And he has read this book that's something like, oh God, what was the name of it? Something like 100 Tips to Help Even a Kaiju Make Friends, written by this professor named Lonely Iwaki. And he's reading this book cover to cover, and Yukio is like chastising him like, dude, that's not going to help you make friends. And he's right. Mm-hmm. And every time Tetsuo tries to act natural around the other humans, like the first thing he does is he lets off this really weird smile, and the immediate reaction is, that's so suspicious. What are you hiding? So he takes out this one kaiju, and then another comes along, and so we suspected Yukio was destroyed, but he uploaded his intelligence to the escape pod, and now he's back, and they're kind of, you know, helping out the humans. And, you know, this happens within like the first 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. And there's... the animation in the show is weird because it wants to be predominantly CG, and it looks fine. But there's also a lot of traditional animation woven in weird spots, and I feel like, why didn't you just go with one or the other? Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a little bit of a choice, but I mean, animating it? Studio Kai.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Which, speaking of, they also were working on Mistress Kanan, so mm-hmm. 2 shows from the same studio. How about that? Wow.
It happens.
Yes. But it turns out that Tetsuo isn't the only quirky one, because one of the girls he meets down on Earth is just... she's also kind of weird and goofy and quirky, but she, at one point, was able to tame a kaiju, and its warmth is helping keep part of their base from not being frozen over. So there's like this one little pocket of not frozen Earth that they sort of inhabit and stay on. And I feel like there's enough here to see what's going on. We have some little bits of, well, this is the reason why the Earth turned into a giant snowball. And we definitely have our reason for, you know, this is why the characters are trying to get unfrozen, because, I mean, as if that wasn't already motivation enough for them. But we sort of see the end game pretty early on. I think the manga is still running, though, so we'll see how that goes with that. But I don't know, it seems decent enough so far and want to see where it goes. So,
do they need to harvest thermal energy on this lost planet?
Shut up.
Hey man, I was just getting vibes.
I hate this. I hate it here. I guess yes, sort of.
But yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty fun. I'm not sure why I didn't check it out. I didn't look at anything trailer-wise or anything. But something about the description sounded like it would be more of a comedy show than an action show because of, Tetsuo's demeanor and everything.
There's some goofs in there. So, I mean, the main thrust of the story is obviously the kaiju and the frozen earth and all of that. But there's enough goofiness in there to be like, yeah, okay.
I mean, as long as it's funny and not annoying.
I mean, I'm kind of glad that Tetsuo isn't the only weirdo out of the cast, at least.
Sure,
because if it was just him, I'd probably be like, all right, dude. Mm-hmm. But this other girl whose name I can't remember now, she's at least silly enough, and she's a rule breaker. Gasp. They get back to the base, and Tetsuo is like, well, what's your role in all this? And she turns around very confidently, I do the accounting. And it's like, what are you doing out in the field? What do you mean?
Counting kaiju. Important job. Right.
So the reaction to that is, what do you mean you snuck out to do this? And she very confidently says to two of the other characters, it's time for us to go and get scolded for going out when we shouldn't have been. And she holds her head high, and it's like, all right, at least you have confidence.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, sounds like this could be fun enough.
Yeah, so I think it has the potential to be a fun watch, at least. What do you got next for us?
My last, maybe, since we already talked about Rooster Fighter, is Daemons, I don't know, of the Shadow Realm.
This is kind of bordering on a keeper for me, because I think it's got some stuff there.
Yeah, same for me. I'll say why it's still a maybe, but it's pretty close to being a keeper. So this is another adaptation of the most current and still running manga from a famous female manga author. Here, in this case, Hiromu Arakawa, the creator of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about these children being born that separate light and dark. We haven't quite learned what that means yet. Technically, we can make assumptions, but it's not quite clear. So this is set in this, as we later learn, very secluded village. One of the siblings is called Yuru, and one is called Asa. And Asa seems to be, I don't know, not allowed to go out during the day or something. At least in the beginning of the first episode, you're like, okay, what is this? This is gonna be like, what was this old movie where there were two people and only one of them was allowed to exist during the day and the other only allowed to exist during the night, and they could almost never meet. So I was thinking like, hey, is this kind of like this situation because they separate light and dark? They can never be outside at the same time or whatever. But that nothing of that sort happens because the village is immediately attacked because the magic barrier that shielded it from the outside is torn down, and suddenly helicopters, because in the beginning we thought like, hey, this is set in like more ancient times.
It presents itself as such.
Yeah, not in current day. I mean, we get clued in immediately when Yuro looks into the skies in the first couple of seconds and sees like the trails of planes flying above the village and calls it like dragon trails or something. We're like, oh, okay, so this is definitely in the current time. But it becomes more evident once the barrier is torn down by someone, and then suddenly the village is attacked by these soldier dudes and people with special powers. And suddenly the show becomes very, very violent.
Mm-hmm.
That
it goes from
caught me
0
off
to
guard.
10 very quickly.
It's 11, I would even say. Like, it gets really crazy. Like, there's this girl that with the soldiers that has like this special, I don't know, demon whatever that she can call, that can take a bite out of people, and it's just suddenly blood everywhere and guts and whatever. But yeah, it looks good. It's well animated, and apparently the one attacking the witch is actually the real Asa, because the one that was being posed as Yuro's sister was not his real sister. And then we learn a whole shit in the coming 2 episodes about that her parents left with Asa, left Yuro behind, and she's trying to get him back. That's why she is attacking the village, also to take revenge on the elders of the village, I guess, who were apparently responsible for killing her parents. And we don't really know yet what all of this entails. Like, apparently there are some families also involved that left the village at some point and also have now made their way in the real world and have come to power and everything. And also there are these 2 Oni that are the protectors of the village, and then that get contracted, I guess, to Yuro. And they're very fun. Like, I guess they are the titular Daemons. And they, like, left and right is what they're called at some point. Migi and Hidari, I guess. Mm-hmm. And it's they're very fun. Like the woman, a very big woman and a very big man, and they yeah. In the first fight, they show what they can do, and it's really fun. So I like that. And my favorite character kind of comes after that, when Yuro flees with the guy who is also, I guess, from the outside world and knows about this stuff, and works for a different organization. Who fucking knows at this point? But he also has an accomplice called Hana, and she has the best lines in the show. Like, Hana is amazing. I love how she explains a car to Yuro and the Daemons, who are, of course, not familiar with it, right? Like, and she's and time is of the essence, so she's just like, there are horses in here, and it goes very fast, which they accept immediately. Like, Dara, the guy, tries to explain it to them first, like, oh, how do I explain it to? They have never, and she's like, there are horses in here. They're like, okay. It's amazing.
Don't the horses under the hood need to eat? We'll give them oil later.
Yeah. She really knows how to make this, like, give the simple explanation that just sounds like magic, and they know magic, so it's like, okay, that makes sense to us. All right.
The explanation for smartphones, it's kind of like a smoke signal, and you use it to talk to people far away.
And they're like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's like, oh, that was easy.
There's a scene in a later episode, I don't know if you watched it yet, where Yuri was talking with the characters, like, do you have one of those smoke signal things? And he's like, he stops, he thinks for a second, you mean a smartphone? Yeah, I got one of those.
I haven't seen that one yet, but yeah,
it's a funny exchange.
So I found it pretty refreshing how quickly Yuro and the Daemons acclimatize themselves to this fresh world. And it's not like,
I mean, they
fish
have
out
to.
Of water. Yeah, of course they have to, but, you know, that could also go incredibly wrong and misunderstandings, but it doesn't really happen in the first 3 episodes. It's just fun. It's just fun, them trying to find their way around a completely unfamiliar world. And there's also this amazing scene when Dara suggests that he and Hana getting married or have a pretend marriage so they can act like they're Yuro's parents. So to not raise suspicions, she's absolutely not okay with that idea and acclaims loudly that she has already decided to marry Jason Statham. Of all the people. Which caught me really off guard. That was really good.
They pulled the Statham card again in the latest episode, and it was really funny.
Nice. So yeah, this is a fun show. Like, the reason why it's a maybe for me is I don't know what is this show actually gonna be, like, or what is the daily thing gonna be? Is this like a monster of the week where Yuro and the Daemons fight from the a person from the Kagemori organization or clan every week, and then we also discover what was actually up with the village and who's actually to blame. I bet people are getting manipulated here, Asa as well as Yuro, to a degree. By which party, to what degree, we don't know yet, and it's probably take a couple of turns and twists, and eventually we learn the whole truth. I don't know how long that will take. It's just the first 3 episodes just feel like a prequel or an introduction to the show. They don't feel like we have arrived at what this show is yet, and that's why I wasn't sure after watching the first 3 if this is gonna be a full keeper yet, or if this is just gonna settle in in a rhythm I don't like. So I don't know, but I'll keep on watching at least 1 or 2 more episodes and then decide, because the first 3 episodes were really fun. I just don't know what that show really is yet.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in just because I'm curious about, well, why was this? I mean, I guess we kind of know partially why the village was secluded away, but I just want to dig into that, the reasoning behind it. So I'm really curious, and I think the characters are all great so far. So, also, side note, I don't think I ever realized just how many things Hiromu Arakawa worked on. Like, I was aware of Full Metal Alchemist, Silver Spoon, and the Heroic Legend of Arslan, but there's so much other stuff in her portfolio, including this, of course.
She's a steady worker.
Like, I guess Arslan has been ongoing, so who knows what's going on with that, but man.
Yeah, I wanted to check out Moonrise, which I guess is her most recent project, because
she provided the character designs for it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how much she was involved with the story, but she definitely did that after she started Daemons, because that happened in 2021 and Moonrise happened in 2025. So, but yeah, hey, this is done by Bones. So it
looks good.
Yes, of course. And they have now their slate free for another big show after My Hero Academia has wrapped up. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be it for a while. And since the manga is still running, this is probably going to be the Bones show to watch for the next couple of seasons. And it looks like it's a fun fantasy show with a neat twist, as in where it's like, hey, actually, this is in the current day. So, fun. I probably, this will be a keeper for me as well. It was just like still like maybe bordering on a keeper, because I was not sure what this show really is gonna settle into yet. Like, what is the weekly thing gonna be for this, like, and where is it gonna go? But it's also very interesting. Like, not knowing where a show is gonna go can be very interesting, as long as it doesn't go into a place I don't like. We'll see.
Hopefully.
So, John, what's that?
Hopefully, it keeps its rhythm up.
Yeah, but since it's like picked up by Bones, that is probably gonna be reason enough for me to watch it. We'll see. Was that also your last maybe then, John?
I had one more maybe.
Okay, go for it.
Liar Game. The reason this is a maybe is because the main character's an idiot.
Well, that rarely happens in anime.
Yeah, well, so the point of Liar Game is to lie and deceive and win the game through such means. This girl, Nao Kanzaki, receives this letter in a suitcase containing 100 million yen, and she learns that she has been selected to participate in the titular Liar Game, and she has to hold on to this 100 million yen for 30 days, I think it was, and she ends up confiding in an old teacher of hers, and it's like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm so confused. I don't want to take part in this game. But by opening the package and, reading the letter, she has consented to taking part in the game.
Whoa.
So her teacher's like, yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I'll help you out. Here, give me your money. And I'm going to put it in a safe deposit box.
Sure.
And I'm going to hang on to it. And this girl is so honest, like stupidly honest to a fault. And it's like, what were you expecting? So he starts showing his true colors, and it's like, why did you believe him? So there's this fraudster who just got out of jail, Akiyama, and of all the people for now to turn to, she's like, hey, you're good at deceiving people. Can you help me out? Because now his father is in the hospital and he's got cancer, and the money could really help with his treatments. And Akiyama's like, all right, listen, I'm not going to help you out. But she keeps pestering him, and he's like, fine, I guess I will. You wait right here, in this very spot, and I'll come back and help you. And of course, being the stupid, honest girl that she is, she stands there and waits hours and hours for him. Until he finally comes back and he's like, you're an idiot, but I guess I'll help you out because you are honest. Mm-hmm. And they pull this elaborate mind game on Nao's old teacher, and basically like mind games the heck out of him and gets him to not move from the spot where the safe is in his house to not give up the money. And they kind of get it back from him by sending him a fake version of the letter that, hey, a representative from the Liar Game Committee is going to come at this time to check on the money and see if you are, eligible to move on to the next round. Because the only rule to the Liar Game is there are no rules.
Of course.
So you can lie, cheat, and deceive your way to the top, as is, part of the game. So Akiyama sends him a letter that says, we're going to be here at 5 p.m. on this day, when the actual people are going to be there at 6 p.m. So the teacher lets down his guard. They make off with the cash, and he gets knocked out of the game. Yay, everything's good. Everything's rosy. Welcome to round 2 of the Liar Game.
Of course.
Nao's an idiot. I don't like her. And I guess there's just something to this story that's interesting to me, but also this is not Madhouse's best work.
Okay.
It doesn't look great. Like, the characters look off model a lot, and it's like,
I mean, that usually is not a problem for you, but it seems to be pretty severe if you bring it up.
It's constant. So this should be a nope, but I want to see how much more of an idiot Nao actually is before I decide to kick this show to the curb, because it's like... So, I mean, maybe it'll be good. I don't know. But again, honestly, this and Mistress Kanan should probably either swap or share spaces. But that's where I'm at with it. Mm-hmm. But that's the last of my maybes. I think my 2 keepers are probably way a jump up from here. So,
yeah, Daemons aside, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, then you can basically go right into your first keeper. There's probably going to be some overlap.
First, technically second keeper, I guess.
Yeah, I'm quickly going to mention that Dr. Stone, the final season, is a keeper for me, of course, but I'm not going to talk about it because I still need to catch up on the previous 2 seasons, and which I'll do now that the final season's out and I don't have to wait fucking another year for another one and forget what happened in the previous one. So now I can finally catch up. Slime Time has another season out, but I also haven't watched the previous season of that, so I'm going to do that as well. Also need to watch the movie. Or 2 movies. I think there's a second one in theaters now.
2 movies, oh.
Yeah, apparently. And there's a new season of, which I didn't expect to come because it's been ages, of Dorohedoro out. And I jumped off the first season of that because I wasn't too happy with the CG, but I've heard so many good things about this. And I might try to get back into it. We'll see. But also, like I said, not much to talk about yet because I haven't really checked it out. Just want to make you aware that these might come up another time. John.
Yeah, I guess then I can sort of gloss over my first keeper since it's also a returning show.
Yes, go for it.
It's Classroom of the Elite, 4th season, 2nd year, 1st semester. That is the full title.
Of course, I expected you to pick that up again.
Boy, they dropped four episodes on me all at once the first week.
I mean, that's nice, I guess.
Yes, I wasn't expecting, to be like, here's 2 hours of this show. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm going in.
So, Ayano Koji and the crew are in the 2nd year at the Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School. I forgot that was the name of the school. Jesus Christ. And their first test is to cooperate with the newly joined first years, and one of the classes in particular is very uncooperative, and there's someone that may be from the White Room where Ayano Koji was originally raised and nurtured, might be there to try and get him expelled. There's also a bounty out on his head to get him expelled in general. So, to the tune of 20 million points of the school's currency, which is not chump change. So a lot of the first 4 episodes are trying to pass this first test where they're trying to cooperate with the lower classes and do this actual academic thing. And they're pairing off characters that are, maybe some don't have as strong academic abilities with ones that do, so they can sort of balance each other and help each other out, sort of thing. And all the while, Ayano Kochi's trying to ferret out, okay, which of these kids could be from the White Room. And he's seeing certain behaviors that maybe this person is, but this other person might not be for this reason. And he gets into a scrap with one of the first years, gets a knife through his hand.
Ouch.
Yeah. So we saw at the end of the 3rd season, he's tough and he can fight, but, knife through the hand is still gonna hurt a lot, dude. Ugh. And he's wearing a bandage up through now the 6th episode. He's still got a bandage on it, so it's like, oh man, ooh.
Yeah, doesn't sound great. Probably hurts more than boot to the head.
But yeah, the psychological aspect of this continues, and all of the drama between all the characters continues. So I'll keep with it as I have, just because I think the story still continues to be pretty interesting. And
so is this going to be the final set of seasons, or?
I mean, it's the 2nd year in most Japanese high schools, as far as, I understand, 3 years.
Yeah. Okay. Then you got a bit more ahead of you, I guess.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't know where the novels are. Actually the novel series wrapped up in 2019. So the LNs for year 3 are currently running. So year 2 has wrapped. Mm-hmm. So that arc of the story is complete. Year 3 is not. So I'm assuming the intent is to animate the story beginning to end. I would hope so. I think that would be cool to see, just because I like this story and I think the characters are all interesting, but I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I'll find out. I'm going to keep watching it, so.
Me too. Have fun.
I hope to. What keepers do you have?
I have one keeper. Might then be an overlap. We'll see. It's Hat Atelier.
There it is. Yep.
For some reason, this was not on my radar at all. It's like going through the list of shows, and it was like, oh, okay, it sounds like a fantasy anime. And I watched the first episode, and it was like, holy people must have talked about this. Like,
yeah, I saw Sungwon Cho talk about how like this is one of his favorite manga of all time, and then I was looking at the previews, and I was looking at the previews. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Oh wow, okay, all right, yeah, okay, I see you, I understand now.
Yeah, so it's about this girl called Coco. Lives in a village with her mom in their clothing store. Witches exist in this world, but according to her mom, which we later learn at the end of the first episode, is a big fat honking lie. You can only become a witch if you're born one, because you need to be born with the talent to be a witch. You cannot just learn it. And but Coco is super interested in it, and at some point when she was a very little child, she got magic coloring book, I guess, and a wand from a masked witch somewhere in the cellar. Like, don't just pick up things from weird little from weird people, kids. Don't do it.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
And she can't make it work and is a bit frustrated with it, but it doesn't leave her thoughts. Like, she just memorizes the entirety of the book and everything, and tries to make the magic work, but she doesn't know how to use the wand and everything. So one day, when a couple of women visit the clothing store and so on, and their carriage gets like breaks, as it happens, there's an actual male witch around called Kifri, who says he can fix the carriage. So Coco offers him to do that in the shop's basement, because of course she's super interested, but is forbidden from looking in on it, on him casting the spell. And of course she can't hold herself back and is taking a peek and learns that actually spellcasting is not as complicated and legacy driven as everyone made it out to be, because it's just drawing certain patterns that you need to know on some kind of object, and then you can cast the spell. And of course she's immediately trying to imitate that, because there are a bunch of patterns in the book she has, and that of course goes incredibly sideways, because apparently she got a super powerful book. Turns out the wand is actually a pen with, I guess, some kind of magic ink or something. And she summons like this crystal spell thing that immediately encases her entire house, and also her mom traps her inside, and almost her as well. But she's rescued by Kifri, and he says, "Well, I have to take away your memory because nobody is supposed to know that everyone can actually do witch stuff." And sorry. But Coco begs him, like, please don't do this. Who will save my mom if, nobody remembers, like, if the spell that was used, but I remember it. And Kira's like, oh, you remember the entire book, huh? Okay, I need the book to find the person that I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna, train you to become a witch, and you will keep the secret now. Instead of losing your memory, you now have to become another protector of this secret of witchcraft by becoming a witch yourself. And that is the setup of the show. And that all happens in the first episode. It was very quick paced, but also is very good at establishing a very dense atmosphere. Coco is fantastic. She's like one of those typical immediately likable female protagonist, anime for protagonists, who's like, very obsessed with a certain topic, but not in an annoying way and everything. She's just also a hard worker, I guess, and she's very friendly to everyone, and you just like her immediately. And Kifri is really interesting. He probably has some kind of dark secret going on and stuff. The motivation is strong. There's a mystery behind, because we don't know who was that witch with the mask. Is that the person Kifri is looking for? And on top of all that, this is a supremely beautiful show. Like, this looks so fucking good. Like, you have lush landscapes, you have great color work, the spells look fantastic, the little bit of action that was in the first episode was riveting. Like, if Bug Films keeps up that level of animation, this is gonna be the best looking show this season, probably. So,
easy.
Yeah. So, Music was fantastic too. So I can't say anything bad about this premiere. I was, from the first couple of seconds, I was in. I was like, okay, I guess this is the show to watch this season. I guess you felt the same, John.
Yeah, for sure. Like, they sort of hit you from the first moment, and I was in. I was like, I want to see Coco save her mother.
Yes, absolutely.
And obviously, that is the end game of this. That is one end game of the story. The other is Kifri finding this masked witch, who is apparently already on the hunt. Maybe.
Interesting. Like I said, I've only seen the first episode. Apparently, there are 4 out already. So I need to
3 or 4. Yeah.
I need to move the fuck on. Get into gear. But yeah, it was really interesting. I also like the idea that not just this terror was rained down on a village, and Coco is trying to just has to save her mother because someone put her in the crystal. No, she did that herself. So there's immediately this baggage and this responsibility, like the Spider-Man thing going on with great power. Yeah. Right? So that's, definitely I like that a lot. And now she's going to be super driven, and that's of course also probably going to have an effect on her becoming a witch and maybe going too fast at certain moments and not, taking it step by step. It's all very, very, very interesting, and I want to see where this show goes. It's definitely the one thing that was not on my radar at all, but after watching the first episode, I was like, okay, all right. I know what to watch this season diligently. And I guess that's it for our sneak peek. Quick one this time.
Yeah, we got through it a little faster this time around. Oops.
Yes. I didn't want to check out too much stuff where I was on like, this could be interesting. I just wanted, because we have such a big, such a fully packed review schedule already, and I haven't watched all of those shows yet, full disclosure, so there's enough to watch anyway. And
I still gotta watch Beastars. I don't know about you.
There you go. And but I want to watch Beastars. It's just like I need the pressure to actually get to it, to actually watch good anime. I need to force myself to watch good anime. It's crazy.
I mean, for me, it's more of a, could you do it weekly instead of in a batch Netflix, please? Because now I have to figure out how I'm going to watch it. Like, I mean, if I do drop Mistress, Kanan, and Liar Game, like, I feel like I'm probably going to. That at least frees up some time where I could be like, okay, if I watch like 1 episode a day, I could probably get caught up before we actually review it. So,
and I mean, that's still ways off.
Which yes, there's still time until then, but I'm just trying to plan ahead.
Yes, and dear listener, you will find out eventually when that is. It is this season, but we won't tell you when yet. So look forward to the coming episodes. But of course, we have a full review for you this episode, and we're going to go into that right now. So, we are back with Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji and the gang, after the wild cliffhanger ending of the previous season. Where Tokyo is in shambles, I guess, and a lot of people died, partially due to what Yuji did, aka losing control to the demon thing, whatever, I forgot.
Sukuna?
I forgot what Sukuna actually was. A god, a demon, I don't know. But
both, maybe?
Both, yes. And he took over Yuji's body, I guess, and killed a lot of people, which also led to Yuji being declared like person to kill, hunt down, whatever.
Yeah, he was basically public enemy number 1.
Yes, but he's still, as we learn at the beginning of this, and we of course talked already a bit about this in the previous sneak peek, not this one. The one from the previous season. He's staying around in Tokyo and trying to get rid of the curses that are roaming around there, the monsters, the demons, whatever. And being helped by Choso, who he befriended in the previous season through some weird shenanigans. I don't quite remember how it happened that Choso now considers him a brother. There was a reason for that. But they are still there. And then also Yuta, the guy we technically hasn't been fully featured in the show since Jujutsu Kaisen 0 returns. We saw some few glimpses of him being teased in the previous season, I think. But not really being part of the main stage, but he also returns.
As it turns out, JJK 0 is required viewing.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there was already enough in there in terms to the origin of, the main bad guy for a while, or at least his body, I guess, being in that movie. And when I reviewed Jujutsu Kaisen 0, when we reviewed it, I don't know if we both watched it at the same time and reviewed it. But
no, I think I watched it way after you.
Yeah, I think so too. But when I reviewed it, I was like, this is mandatory viewing. Like, you have to see this if you want to continue to disguise it. This is definitely not one of those typical Shonen Jump movies where it's like, it might be canon, it might not, who fucking knows, and also it doesn't really need.
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah, it's just like, you need to watch this because it's absolutely part of the story. So yeah, he's back, and there's a clash in Tokyo and everything, and also part of that is new character. I think, have we met Naota before? Naoya.
No, I don't think we had. Maybe he was talked about, but I don't think we ever actually met him.
So he's from the same clan as Maki, the Zenin clan. And we learned already in the past that the Zenin clan, especially the male people in that clan, are just a bunch of assholes. Power hungry, legacy driven, self-obsessed pieces of shit. And Naoya is the king of that. Like, he is the worst.
He's the epitome of it.
He's so easy to hate, and it's fantastic. Like, I like these kind of characters when I can see that they're gonna get their comeuppance. And let me tell you, holy shit, does Naoya get his comeuppance. But we'll get to that. So first, when he gets introduced, he's like, immediately like, well, the biggest piece of shit. Women should walk behind men, and all that kind of. It's like, it's Maki's fault for looking like she does now because she didn't know proper etiquette, and she was always a loser and whatever. He's like the worst. And he also jumps into the mix because due to the head of the clan dying, now you expect he's going to be named the next head of the clan. But due to the friendship with Megumi's father, of the head of the clan and everything, there is a clause in whatever the inheritance contract or whatever is, and now Megumi is gonna be made the clan's head, the Zenin clan head, and Naoya is not fine with that. So his plan,
he's very not fine with that.
He's absolutely not. So he wants to go to Tokyo to kill Yuji, to do what exactly? I don't remember what his long-term goal was, why he was doing that. Did he want to use him as a bargaining chip? I don't know. Or did he want to kill Megumi as well at the same time? Lure him there?
I think the idea was to basically lure out Megumi because he's like, well, if I take care of his friend Yuji, which turns out to be, not the easiest thing in the world, especially when Choso is there and they kind of sort of tag team him, but it leads to that one meme scene. Yeah. So, the scene where he fights Choso and Yuji and just punches behind him. His quirk, it's not My Hero Academia. His power is like he's super fast, but also there's a trick to that as well, as we later learn. But there's this moment where he just punches behind him,
goes with his fingers through his hair at the same time, and that has been memed into oblivion. Thankfully so, because it's funny every fucking time.
It is really funny, even though Naoya is just a garbage human being.
Yes, but it's such a cool tongue-in-cheek moment, and it so perfectly fits that character because he's such a narcissistic piece of shit.
Yeah,
and which makes, again, the comeuppance for his character so much more delicious. So he's just one of those characters you can't wait to see go down. And but this
from moment zero, you're like, ooh,
yeah, I hate you. Oh, I love that. I hate you. I can't wait to see you getting destroyed in one way or another. I mean, it's already funny that like he's looking forward to becoming the heir of the family, of the clan, and then it's like, nope, due to the contract with Tojiro Fushiguro. Megumi is now half the clan. Whoops. Oh, he's so pissed, and that was very funny. And then, he tries to do the thing with Yuji, but also, Yuta does a play where he pretends to kill Yuji, and, that's how they avoid Naoya being, dragging away Yuji or whatever. So it's pretty cool. It's also just in general cool to see Yuta and Rika again. It gets much cooler in the final episode of the season, let me tell you. But yeah, it's fun. It's also nice that like Yuji, it's not like what happened in the second season is still lingering with Yuji. I like that, like that he still considers himself to be responsible for what happened to all these people, and that is pretty much part of his character arc throughout this entire season. Him wrestling with that, and him coming to grips with that, and people trying to kind of let him know that it wasn't really his fault, but also him saying, no, it was, because if I were stronger, this wouldn't have happened. And that was pretty cool. And there's like this big moment in the fight, quote unquote, later on, where this comes to play. So I really like that, and that is already like put in the forefront, in the front and center in its first couple of episodes here, where you see him really like he doesn't really like let it shine through from the beginning, I guess, but he is really depressed about all of this and feels super responsible for it. And I like that they didn't just forget about him doing all that shit in the previous season. Well, technically he didn't do it himself, but you know what I mean.
I mean, to have let that go, I feel like would be really weird.
I mean, there's some shows that just forget about that, right? Or are not interested in actually, talking about this kind of stuff. It's like, I lost control because of asshole demon, but it's actually not my fault, so over. But no, Yuji really wrestles with it. And I like that Megumi shoulders some of the blame for a lot of those people dying, which, Yuji just, until that point, completely put on himself. And he's also the one who asks Yuji to return with him to the academy and support him in the Culling Game, which I guess is the main thing in the season, although we don't really get to the actual Culling Game, I guess, until the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of work, and there's a lot of talking about the rules of the Culling Game, which, I mean, it's a lot, but it makes sense that they sort of take the first quarter to half of this to really be like, solidify what's coming and what's going on and the rules of the game, and how the aim is to add rules that will allow them to do certain things.
Yeah, we learn all that at first in like a big text scroll thingy, like text blurb plastered over the entire screen.
It's a giant info dump when they're talking with Tengen, yeah.
That happens in the third episode. That's the entire episode. John, I watched that episode twice. I fell asleep twice during that episode.
You know what? I don't blame you. I watched through it, and I was pausing constantly to read all the text on the screen to make sure I was like, all right, let me try and take some percentage of this in. And at the end of the episode, I was like, okay, I think I understand some of this.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, both times it was after having dinner, and it was not a small dinner, so I was like, also, this didn't need to be in here. Like, especially if you consider what happens in the rest of the season. Like, if we didn't know all this shit, do you think we wouldn't understand what was going on the rest of the season? Like, was all that information about how the rule system works really... Did we really need to get filled in on all of that preemptively? I don't feel like we needed to have that. Like, none of this kind of matters because we kind of get an explanation for the important parts anyway. And the one time where a rule gets added, that happens at the very end of the season, and characters still talk about this. Like, there's like, okay, the system of the Culling Game is like you can only see this and that, and you can only you cannot transfer the power unless these people do this and that, and so on. But they talk about all that shit in the third episode with Tengen, and then they talk about it again when they actually use the system to their advantage or strategize to come up with a plan to save as many people as possible. And I feel like you could have just skipped the entire info dump in the third episode and have like maybe 2 or more lines that were like, hey, Tengen explained all the rules to us, and he said that this and that. So in order to save as many people as possible, we have to do this and that. I feel like this episode did not have to happen. I mean, it's interesting to see Tengen for the first time after being talked about for a while, and then doing the exposition and everything. So
I think Tengen is female. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gender female formerly. Okay, so a lot of the summary is referring to Tengen as they, them. So
the voice sounds somewhat male, I feel like, but also maybe not. Who cares? They, them, then. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, so I was like, this was the big like hiccup in this season, which I otherwise really liked. Spoilers. But it was like this one episode where it's just like, here's all of this shit, how this shit is gonna work, and then we're not gonna actually get to that shit for a couple more episodes, and also none of this really is gonna matter that much actually for the rest of the season. It's like, because the characters are still gonna explain enough to you of what they're doing for you to understand without knowing about the entire rule framework of this. So I was like, all right, it's not that bad that I slept through this, I guess, because I still entirely understand what is going on. So I guess that's fine. But you could have, I don't know, used one more episode for something else.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I still think it was kind of interesting for them to get and meet and talk to Tengen, because she's just been like this big nebulous thing. Like, she was the crux a part of the story. So actually, getting to see her for even just this one episode was like, okay, we have kind of a face to put with the name, and we've at least gotten to, meet you and speak with you about the state of things. So that much I at least appreciated.
Yeah. And I mean, it's nice to know some details about what Tengen is, and we also we also learn what actually Kenjaku's plan is, formerly Noritori Shikamo, main bad, I guess, who intends to evolve all mankind in Japan by using cursed energy to have every human being merged with Tengen, I guess. Like, basically creating disconnected hive existence.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but if one of those people would be taken over by cursed impurities, it would pollute every person connected to it, leading to what happened in Tokyo to happen throughout the entirety of Japan, which of course you want to avoid. In short, Kenjaku intends to use the energy unleashed during the Culling Game as a warm-up for the assimilation process. So that needs to be stopped, and that's why they're doing that. And beyond that, it's just a bunch of rules how the system is going to work, and it's super gamified, and it works with points and point deductions and so on, and additions and whatever, and characters being ejected from the game, and so it's definitely a game. It's a culling game. It's in the
It is a game through and through.
Yeah, and the gang needs to collect enough points to add a rule to the game to let people who don't want to participate get out of it. And they need to find a way how to best do that, which they do in the, I guess, second half of the season. And of course, they also need to find a way to free Satoru from his prison, because that is still a thing. And that also has a bunch of, ramifications in the season, I guess. More to...
Man's still a cube. Let him out of the cube.
Yeah.
Let my man out of the cube.
Yeah. But first, before all of that shit, we get one of the best episodes in the show with episode 4, where because Maki is like, hey, there are a bunch of weapons we could use from the Zenin clan's vault or whatever, and I'm gonna get them, or at least the strongest one or whatever. And of course, the clan won't have that, and also there is like, they're trying to make a play for power again or whatever. I don't even know why her dad is trying to kill her and Mai and trying to feed her to the demons, to whatever, to demons, to curses. Something power, I don't know, trying to become the head of the clan instead, or having a way to kill then Megumi or overthrow him or whatever. It's just that fucking clan is all about power struggles and everything. And hey, we've seen quite a lot of shitty anime parents during our time on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But these, like, all of, like, Maki's mom, Maki's dad, which we have learned in the past that they're assholes. But, like, this episode emphasized that so much.
I feel like Maki's dad is like several orders of magnitude worse than her mother, though.
Yes, yeah, but still, like her mom saying, finally give me a reason to not be disappointed that I gave birth to you or something like that, which just, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
For once, make me happy I gave birth to you. That was the line. And, her dad being like, hey, I was in line to be the leader of the clan. The only reason I didn't get the job was because my daughters were subpar. It's like, wow, okay.
Thanks, Dad.
There might be something else wrong with you. Have you thought about that, you piece of shit?
Introspection? Nah.
Yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, They're all bad. Like, the entire clan is full of, like, everyone is an asshole except for Maki, and I guess Mai to an extent, although Mai took a kind of antagonistic role in the first season, at least, and only now she and her sister have kind of, like, put away their grudges and, I guess became kind of family again, which in a way always were, and some flashbacks have already shown us that, and why their relationship is so complicated, and why they were resentful to each other for a while. Mai more so towards Maki than vice versa, I guess. But her dad mortally wounds Mai and also Maki, and then Mai sacrifices herself to let Maki take all their shared power, because as it turns out, I don't know if we learned about this before. It was dropped like on the side and we didn't really make anything of it. But apparently if twins are born in this universe, they share a power that was meant for one person. So that's why Maki and Mai could never be as strong as, an individual born member of the clan, because they were sharing their power between them. So now Mai sacrifices herself and gives basically all her power that way to Maki, which Maki wanted to avoid. I think she knew that was the only reason why she wasn't as powerful, but she wanted to protect Mai and was okay with that, right?
Yeah.
At least it seems that's what her reasoning was.
It's kind of bittersweet in a way, but...
Yeah, and Mai kind of resented her for that, like, I guess. For just putting Mai before herself or whatever, which was not really the ethos of the clan. But, she removes the thing that was blocking Maki from advancing her powers. And... yeah. Then she just... and the last thing Mai asked of her final words to Maki are to destroy the entire clan, the entire family, which she then goes to doing. Like, she goes Kill Bill on the entire unit sent after her, like, slaughters the top fighters, and then beats the shit out of Naoya, which is very satisfying and looks so fucking amazing. This entire episode looks so incredible. I don't know if it's the best that Jujutsu Kaisen has ever looked, but probably
it's pretty close to the top.
Yes, it's the fun thing. It's a very loose style, right? But it's also like it's so the choreography is so amazing. The action is so fast. The music is fantastic and partially weirdly mismatching and everything, considering all the violence on display. Because that Kill Bill scene is kind of like has kind of a bit more like upbeat, fun music, and only gets more tense when she fights Naya. But man, all of this, it just looks so good. Like, and now it just the animation, the music, Naoya's knockout punch 4 times on repeat, including his. It was just beautiful. It's so fucking amazing. I clapped. It was just so good. I just loved every second of it. And then when he comes crawling back, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe he's still alive. Nope. He gets stabbed by Maki's mom, who's like, I'm proud I gave birth to you. Because kind of, as twisted as this is the daughter she always wanted. She wanted to have this all-powerful being, like, as a daughter, I guess. Because power is all that matters in this stupid clan.
Well, at least one of the parents was proud of her in the end.
I guess, yeah. I thought Maki also stabbed her mom, right? That isn't really shown, like, in detail. But she's mortally wounded when she comes after Naya. He can't really move that much himself anymore. Then she just stabs him in the back.
Yeah, it's the last thing she does before she dies.
Yeah, and those are the I'm glad I gave birth to you. Are the final words she's uttering when she's doing that and before dying. But yeah. Megumi wasn't the head of the clan for that long, because now essentially the entire Zenin clan is effectively no more. Like, Maki being the last living member, and like I said, I guess Megumi technically, but yeah, there are only like 2 people, I guess.
How big is your clan? 2 people. Oops.
Which is the kind of poetic justice I adore. Like, all the Zenins ever cared about were the status and the power in their clan, and because of that attitude, now their clan is gone and they are dead. It's the reaping and sowing meme realized to perfection.
Yeah.
And, also just a really powerful goodbye scene between the 2 sisters, which I really liked. It was really emotional and nice and bittersweet. And yeah, really fucking amazing episode. Like, I loved that. After the 3rd episode, there was just this slog to get through. And then you get like this, oh, okay, here's your reward. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah. We're good, Jujutsu Kaisen, thanks. No resentment from my side of things. I love you.
I think they probably sort of realized, yeah, we made you wait. Here you go.
Yeah. And I think that's also, that's something we should mention. I mean, the previous season was, got a lot of criticism because it put its animators through the ringer, because it was a 24 episode run, and that was just on a very high animation level, and that was just too much for a lot of people to handle. It was very stressful. There was a lot of crunch and everything. So apparently for this season, MAPPA made the right decision and did a split core, And I think this benefited the first part and will definitely benefit the second part also of this season. So wise choice there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea.
Yes, you love to see it, and I hope we don't get as many bad news out of this season than we get out of the second one. And I feel like the animation in general was much more consistent in this. I love the animation in the second season, but by the end there, you saw that at least in a few couple of scenes, things got a bit framey, like you said in the review.
Yeah, you could see some of the seams.
Yeah. So, and my hope is that we won't get to see that in part 2 of the third season, because there's just, I don't know how many seasons they're taking a break. If it's gonna come in fall, back in fall, or in next year, I have no idea. But I assume they're gonna take their time, and I appreciate that. And I also appreciated like the small scene where Masamichi is letting Kusakabe's sister reunite with the memory of her dead son in the form of the puppet that he made. Was a really sweet scene, just thrown in there, and that I really liked. Was really nice. And then Masamichi also gets killed. Like a lot of the old guard gets eradicated in this show now. Like a lot of the people who were at the head of some kind of jujutsu organization are now being like either dismembered, completely eradicated in terms of the Zenin clan, or taken out, I guess, one by one due to reasons like Masamichi, I guess.
Things are meant to change.
Yes, absolutely. We see how much by the end of the show, I guess. But first, Yuji and Panda are trying to, and Megumi are trying to recruit Kinji.
Hakari.
Kinji Hakari, right. And I guess his girlfriend Kirara, who's also around and has a fun power set. So for that they go into like this battle ring and are like kayfabing hard in an arena match, and
and Panda's there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yuji and Panda are fighting, doing a mock fight in the ring to raise Kinji's interest in one of them, and then Yuji gets invited. They don't want to like let him know that they're coming from Jujutsu Academy, Sorcery Academy, whatever, because he has some gripes with those. I don't really know why. Have we met Kinji before?
I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've seen him.
We see a flashback of him, and I was like, was he in the first season? Was he around during that exam in the first season? And I'm not sure. Was he maybe around in Jujutsu Kaisen 0?
Okay, looks like he may have been mentioned very early on, but
yeah,
I don't. So, this is like the first time we've like really met him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. But that was interesting, and then we have like this conversation with him between him and Yuji, and where Yuji tries to bullshit him, and that was a really interesting scene to see as well from an animation standpoint, because there were so many micro animations on the characters during the conversation, which made it feel really lifelike, where Yuji's in front of the TV screens and everything, and it looked really cool and funny when they actually start to fight.
Yes.
Yuji's power set is kind of interesting, and it was really fun. And we have this weird moment where they bring back Sasaki from the first season, and Suguru thanking her for being friends with his son, which, like, is Yuji's father in control there? I don't know what to make of that yet. There was kind of like this weird thing thrown in there, and it's like, okay, what is going on here? Like, this is okay. This is building up to something, but I don't quite know to what yet. Or I didn't remember some of the teases made in the previous season and couldn't connect the dots. But it was interesting. I want to see more about that in the next part of this season. Hope we'll get to learn more. But I assume it's gonna build to something in regards to the end and to Yuji's character. But yeah, then actually, once all the characters are assembled, the whole crew is assembled, Kinji and Kira included, they actually enter one of the domes. I don't know what to call. They're not called biomes, right? What are they called?
Oh, I mean, domes make sense, but
they have a specific word for it. I just can't find it in my notes right now. But there are two. Like there's one in Tokyo and one in colonies.
That's it. Yes.
One is the Sendai colony. That's where Yuta is going, and that we see what he's doing there in the very last episode of the season. And the other one, I don't know. The other colony might be the Tokyo colony. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure it's Tokyo. I think there's more than. I think the implication is there's more than one Tokyo colony.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But before we move on, I liked during the fight between Megumi, Panda, and Kirara, where Megumi just sort of spitballs and guesses Kirara's power, and she's like, "How did you figure that out?" And he's like, "Well, I guess you just gave it away."
Yeah,
good guess.
What's a lucky guess? Yeah, he just accidentally stumbled over her power, technically. And also, none of them believe that Satoru is actually being captured, like being sealed.
I mean, rightly so, considering how powerful he is, but...
Sure, but it's still funny. Like the face Kirara makes when they're trying to convince her that actually happened. She's like, you bullshitting me, shut the fuck up. That's never good. That would never happen. It's like, fuck. We have to try this a different way. It was a very fun fight. It was pretty short, breezy, but it was fun. And also how it wrapped up, and considering how Yuji did convince Kinji in the end to believe him, because it was not necessarily with him just beating the shit out of him. Quite the opposite, actually. And that was cool. I like that a lot. And then, they enter the colonies and have to fight a bunch of other people, weirdos.
That's a good way to describe them.
Yeah, especially the first two, like Hanyu and her husband, I forgot what his name was. Like, she can turn her hair into a rocket, he can turn his into a propeller. I don't know. They're featured somewhat prominently in the OP, but they're immediately taken out. So I guess they were here for fun. I wonder if with a lot of these things, these fights took longer in the manga than they actually do in the show, because it feels like, especially those two characters, like get immediately thrown by the wayside. But also maybe that was like that in the manga. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like that episode was adapted from about 4 chapters, so I assume it got crunched down considerably.
Yeah, probably. Usually you would think like 2 to 3 chapters per episode at max. Okay, well, but also you can never tell with if the material is mainly fights, because those you can usually breeze by much faster than dialogue scenes and everything. So if it's just fights for those 4 chapters mainly, you could do that in 1 episode. So yeah. But mostly what they're trying to do is finding this guy called Higuruma, who apparently has the most points in this colony, and they want to make him like transfer some of his points to them, and then also add a rule that would enable them to transfer, to have people leave the game basically without having to die. Losing their sorcery powers or whatever. So that is their plan. And for that, they need that guy. And Higuruma is very interesting. Like, he's a less successful Phoenix Wright, I guess.
That's one way to call him.
But just as effective of criticism of the fucked up Japanese justice system.
Yeah.
Just don't ever get accused of crime in Japan, people. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. That conviction rate. So
what is it? 90, 95%? It's absurd.
Yeah, crazy nonsense. Not much of a chance as a defender in Japan, especially not as a public one. And he seems to have been a guy, and that's pretty clear from the flashbacks we see about him and everything, and of his past as a public defender. Was he a public defender?
Yes.
Yeah. he was definitely interested in in the people he believed were innocent, to get them, like, to have them be free, like get a innocent sentence. And that didn't work out one too many times due to the weird structure of the courts in Japan and everything, and how easy it is to turn around a not guilty sentence and everything. And he just lost his shit and manifested his whatever cursed energy and killed apparently all the judges in that courtroom, which, okay.
I mean, that's one form of justice,
I guess, yes.
Man,
but his fight...
Thinking about all of this now really kind of recolors Phoenix Wright for me.
I mean, Edgeworth is technically not the good guys, although they give him, like, you know, more of a character. And for the really asshole-ish... what are the
prosecutors?
Yeah, the really asshole-ish prosecutors come later, I guess, in the thing.
I mean, I guess the concept as a whole of the games and trying to prove your client innocent and just...
You're guilty until proven innocent.
So...
It's really, really put on its head. I mean, we're both not expert on the Japanese justice system, but if you have read up at least a bit on how the actual prosecution of crimes works in Japan, and how the defense and prosecution system works in Japan, and it is a bit fucked. I mean, some people might argue it's good that it's the way it is, because that's why crime rates are low, but also sure, all right. But yeah, this is also one of those one of those characters that comments on that specifically. So it was interesting to see that in this show. I did not expect to have like an X-course on that. So I like that. I thought that was cool. And it was a really cool fight, like him versus Yuji, which we don't know what will happen in the beginning, because we have two characters who say that Higuruma is in a particular part of the city. One's talking to Megumi, one is talking to Yuji, and either one or both are telling bullshit, right? So, okay, who's where's this, who's telling the truth here? And then we learned that Yuji actually got the right information, and then runs into Higuruma, and they have like the first part of that fight is a trial, which Yuji loses, which allows Higuruma to confiscate his control of energy, so he only has his physical strength at that point. And then Higuruma attacks him with his gavel and an incredibly well choreographed and funny battle. Like, it was really cool, like him just throwing an infinite amount of gavels at Yuji while he's running away from it. It was just crazy nonsense, but I loved it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, man, this fight and the dialogue between the characters was really, really good.
Yes. It's more of like a psychological fight than... I mean, there is also really strong action in this, but especially the trial part, and once Yuji understands what he has to do, and then they're taking another twist because of what question Higuruma asks him about, you know, he has to... The way the system works is Yuji has to he has to make a gamble. He has to gamble on, you know, lying about, you know, he's being convicted of a crime by Higuruma, and he can either lie about it and hope that the information in a closed envelope that Higuruma has is not actually enough to convict him. He can accept his guilt, and there was a third option. Not say anything at all, I'm not sure. But, you know, it's like, okay, the first time he fails is like, okay, he hasn't fully gotten a grasp on this yet. But now in the second part, he has a game plan, and he will outmaneuver Higuruma. And then Higuruma asks him the fucking killer question of like, did you kill those people, or are you responsible for all the people that died in Shibuya? And
he very quickly and solemnly says, yeah, that was my fault. And that catches Higuruma off guard.
Yeah, he says immediately guilty. He's like Yuji is, no, I'm guilty. This is my fault. And it's like, what? Okay. And we knew this was what kind of happened because of what Yuji already said earlier in the season, and we see him wrestling with this, right? He considers himself mainly responsible for all the deaths in Shibuya. But it's so harsh to hear him just say this immediately, not even argue against it in any way possible. Just he knows that this will mean his death, probably, like death sentence. And this is also what it amounts to, technically, until Higuruma does something else and kind of turns that around again, because he is actually impressed by what Yuji is doing. But it's just so you feel so sorry for Yuji, because yes, technically he is at fault for not being strong enough, but also him not being strong enough is not his fault, really. Like, he did everything he could do. Like, it's not like he was slacking off. He did everything he could to become as strong as possible to get Sukuna under control. He just couldn't do it due to circumstances. And I understand why he's blaming himself, but also he's not really the one to blame, right? It's Kenjaku and, or Noritoshi or whatever you want to call him. I don't even remember what his original name was. We knew him, Geto. We know him for the most time of the show, right? Because he really, like, he's responsible for the whole machination of this thing. So it's not really Yuji's fault, but you understand why he's holding himself responsible, and that's so fucking sad. And this fight just really pulled at your heartstrings in that regard, and really made you like, fuck, god damn it, Yuji. I'm so sorry. And yeah, I really liked it. I thought also because it was just a different fight. Like, most of Jujutsu Kaisen's fights were pretty like action heavy, either special attack or hand-to-hand combat or whatever. And this was a like mostly mind gamey thing that really went to a place I didn't expect it to go. And it also made Higuruma a really cool character. Just the way he reacts to learning what Yuji has to say and everything, and that kind of being what he then eventually does, which is basically set Yuji free and calling him not guilty through kind of a loophole, I guess. But that you feel like that is colored by his worldview, in terms of that he recognizes innocent people, and that he believes in rehabilitation, and he believes in second chances, and he sees that Yuji is definitely one of those people. Back in his old life, he would done everything to defend him and to get a not guilty sentence for them. And it's just cool. That's just the dynamic between these two characters, which it's like 2 episodes, right?
Yeah,
not more. Yeah, and it's just like this really nice microcosm episode thing and fight that we probably won't see Higuruma again, but it was just like, it really worked for this particular part of the story and what Yuji was wrestling with and the emotions that he was bottling up and everything, and it's just cool.
Because he, at the end, they used the points to add a rule to do a point transfer. Higuruma gives 1 point to Yuji just so there is a transfer between them, so he can, both of them can survive. And he says, after the Culling Game is over, I'm turning myself in. And it's like, man. Yeah,
but a good guy deep down. And I was happy that it was that, because when we get introduced to him, it feels like he's just completely gone off the rails, right? The way he's just lying in this wet, in the fucking tub with water in it, and he's like, "Have you ever laid in a tub of water with your clothes on?" It's like, what the fuck is going on with that guy? And he's just. He's just deeply depressed and everything for all the shit that happened in his past life, and he holds himself responsible for killing the people in the courtroom, of course, even though, in from a certain point of view, that might also have been justified, right? In terms of what you consider a just outcome of that situation. So really interesting set of episodes. Really liked it. Didn't expect anything like that from this show, but I was really happy that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, on the other side of things, we have a more standard-ish affair with Megumi fighting 3 sorcerers in a handicap match. And that was one of the moments where I was like, man, can we please appreciate how varied the environments are the characters fighting in this show?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of anime just have all their fights take place in open area with hills, or a forest, or a cave. And this season alone has street fighting, a temple, a rooftop, a theater, an apartment, and more. Not to mention that ridiculous shit going on in the final episode. And it's like, hey, there's actually shit to see, like, surrounding the characters that are fighting. And there's shit to animate, breaking apart around the characters fighting. And it's not just hills. And it's not just mountains. And it's not just a cave. And that is just, this show just looks so good. It's just Mappa blasting on all cylinders, and it's just so fun to look at. And, you know, not just the choreography, but also all the shit that gets destroyed in the environment and everything. And also just seeing the characters zooming through these different environments and doing their special moves and everything is just cool. And yeah, that was just the moment where I realized that, because Megumi is doing a multi-stage fight through a bunch of different environments, and all of them look really cool and demand him fight a different way, because in the apartment the movement is very constricted, because there's not a lot of space to move around in and everything. And then, you know, you go on the streets again and it shifts again, and it's just cool. It's just fucking cool. And then the main character arrives. Fumihiko Takaba, 35 years old, 0 points.
Takaba is a gift.
Yes. I love how much they dragged out the blood gushing scene, almost as absurd as in Akiba Maid War, though not quite.
How long they lingered on that was like, I was like, is this a bit? Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's a bit. All right. We're clear on this.
Yes. I love everything about this character. I think he's fucking amazing. Not that he's a super goof, but also he's incredibly strong. And man, I love that the scene where he makes a bad Wi-Fi joke just suddenly turns into a bad children's drawing. It was so fucking amazing. And I loved it. And I love Megumi's fight against Reggie, which is cool and varied. And Megumi unleashes all of his summons, and Reggie can pretty much materialize whatever from his weird dress of receipts. And that leads to a bunch of differently styled encounters between them and clashes between them. And it's so cool. And, man, it's also incredible that Takaba has a technique so strong it could rival Satoru's, but he doesn't know anything about it and how it works. So
he's just flying by the seat of half his pants the whole time.
Yes. It's just so fun. No, this could actually be the strongest sorcerer out there. He just doesn't know how his power works, so he isn't. And it's just, what is this character? How haven't we met him before? Why? Why did you withhold this character from us? Just put him in there from the get-go. He's amazing.
Apparently he was just a normal dude.
Yes.
And then because of the Culling Game, he got turned into a sorcerer.
Interesting. Cool. I mean, thanks, Culling Game, for giving us this treasure. And I hope we'll see more of him. And it wasn't just a one-off, because God, what an amazing character. He looks so stupid, but he's so fun, and he's so nice to Megumi and everything. They have immediately such a bromance going on in a way. And man, it's just so fun, so fun. I love Takaba. He's amazing. I really hope we're gonna see him again. And then the final episode is an insane Utah showcase where he and Rika basically single-handedly take on pretty much every remaining sorcerer in the Sendai colony at the same time.
I want to go back for a second to Reggie,
Yeah.
because he mentions something in passing about Kenjaku dropping a bomb, whether that's literal or figurative, on the sorcerers that are remaining at the end of the game. And I mean, we sort of see a glimpse of that in the intro sequence, and they sort of gloss over that, and it's like, this seems pretty important, dude. What do you mean by that? Like,
I also wasn't sure if that was a metaphorical thing, because I thought the long-term goal of Kenjaku was like, and he wanted to use the energy to start the assimilation process. But it didn't sound like he had to kill all the remaining sorcerers for that, but also maybe he did. But then also, why didn't he just throw the bomb immediately when all the strongest sorcerers were in the colonies?
that's a good question.
We'll probably find out in the next part.
I mean, for sure we will, but still, it's like, now we have this, like, smoking gun, like Chekhov's nuke is sitting on the mantle waiting to be set off.
And I mean, we have heard people having complained about the ending of the manga. So I wonder if it's just gonna Kenjaku throwing the bomb and then the show ends. Because everyone dies. That would be weird. We'll see. I hope that's not how it ends.
I mean, I think there was another arc after this, so they can't just do that and call it, oh, that's the end. I mean,
there's not just another arc.
Question mark?
Yeah, we'll see. There's not just another arc. There's also already a sequel manga going on, apparently. So,
that I didn't know. Okay.
So, which apparently is good. So I assume this is probably just gonna be the end of all of this. Is probably just gonna be the end of the first chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I don't know if there'll be a time skip and we are gonna have a completely different set of characters or the children of some of the characters. Who knows? But apparently, we're getting, after Jujutsu Kaisen proper is over, we're probably at some point gonna get more of this. So, looking forward to that, I guess, until now anyway, because this show is just still super fun. And like I said, the final episode is just this incredible action blowout, Yuta going all out insane, a bunch of weird fucking sorcerers with these crazy powers, also very crazy in a visual sense, and it's just so fun to look at. And I just love Yuta and Rika as a tag team. I just love these two characters just going ham, absolute ham. And it's just so much fun to look at. It's so good. It's like, hey, what a good action cartoon. Here it is. Watch it. Aside from the criticism of the work environments, I didn't understand the criticism of season 2 already. And if there is criticism of this season, I don't... What do you want, people? Like, what do you expect? It was clear this was a fucking Shonen Action show in a very classic sense from the get-go. We have the different power sets, we have the different power levels, we have weird mechanics like the domains and everything, which, hey, we see Megumi's domain, I guess, for the first time in this. At least not full power version, but we see a glimpse of it, which was also really interesting. And there's, we have weird villains and twists and turns everywhere, and I don't know. I'm getting everything out of this show that I want. I don't know what people expected, so I thought this was a super.
Maybe we'll understand when we get closer to the end, because I feel like the sentiment of the show has kind of cooled because people know how the manga ends. But
that could be the case. Yeah,
I guess we will see.
Yes, and also maybe the ending. The main complaint about the ending might be that it is kind of abrupt, and if there's already now a sequel manga happening, that might also be alleviated then, because okay, there's still more coming. It's just abrupt because the story is not over. So that also might not be as much of a problem as it was when the manga actually ended and people didn't know that there was more to come. So we'll see. We still, since we're anime only, we probably still got a couple more seasons to go. Maybe 1, 2, 3 before the story, the first manga is over. So we'll we'll see where this goes. So far, I'm elated. I loved the first season. I loved the second season, and I loved this. Like, it was super fun. Not much in terms of plot happening, sure, but if you like your shown battle action, which I do, then this is some of the best action you could ask for. Plus some good character stuff in Maki's Spotlight episode and in Yuji's battle against Higuruma. I could have done without the exposition dump, of course, like the hell that was episode 3, which put me to sleep twice. Because it was handled in a really boring way, but I'd rather have, okay, thinking about it, I'd rather have one episode like that I can skip because it's not really that essential, than every fight being grinded to a halt to explain all the rules during the fights. Because let's be honest, when it comes down to it, none of that dumb shit matters. And I mentioned before, I dozed through the stupid Tengen monologue twice and was able to tell what's going on in the remainder of the episodes just fine. You really don't have to explain everything in the show about magic. It can be a nice addition to the flavor, but it should never hinder the pacing and the dynamic of the action in the show where that is the main focus. And, you know, we've seen this happen before in long-running shonen shows like Naruto, like One Piece, like Bleach, where like the fight just dead stops and then the characters just explain what is going on and what their plan is and how their power works and everything. And that one episode aside...
Let's not forget that we had a recap episode during this season as well for really no reason, but...
Did I miss that?
It was between episodes 54 and 55. I don't think many people bothered watching it.
Yeah, I didn't either. And you know, that episode aside, that 0.5 episode aside, and episode 3 aside, this season didn't do that. Like this grinding to a halt and stopping the action and the character stuff and the plot stuff just to explain to you how the fucking magic system works. And I appreciate that, because in the rarest cases that is necessary, because it's a whole lot of nonsense anyway. And if you get a hard on for this kind of thing where it's like, oh, I'm gonna explain to you this shit in the minutest details, that is fine, that is okay. But I feel it's always a detriment to the core of the show and to what's enticing about the show if that is what is happening in the fights and in the character exchanges and everything, or if that becomes the main focus. Now I'm going to explain my entire power set to you and everything. Sure, you have to explain the basics for people to get a basic understanding of how the interactions work and everything. Like Higuruma, we needed to know that whatever his curse power is would carry out a sentence against Yuji and the 3 options that Yuji had, right? But we didn't need to know, like, the stuff about Naoya, for example. Thankfully, the action didn't stop for that, where Maki, like, I figured out how your power works with the 25 frames or whatever, which we already had in the previous season, which was funny, but still, it didn't matter. Like, Maki got super powerful because her sister gave her power, sacrificed herself to give her power to her, and now she became this all-powerful martial arts being and just beat the shit out of him. I don't need to know more than that. I didn't need to know that she was just a step faster than Naoya, so she could just catch him off guard and punch his face into the ground. Like, I don't need to know the specifics of why she was able to do that. Knowing that she now is at her full power is all the knowledge I need. Like, that's all you need to know. It's fine. If you need more about that, read a fucking wiki or something. I don't need that in the show. So I was glad the show was refraining from this kind of stuff, at least when it came to stopping the action and stopping the flow of the episode just to explain this kind of shit to you. The only episode where that happened was the 3rd one, my least favorite one in the season. And as long as it doesn't hinder your actual understanding of what's going on, I feel like anime can do with reducing this kind of shit a lot more, especially in the shonen genre, because that is just pestered, like fucking diseased with this kind of stuff. And I'm glad that Jujutsu Kaisen didn't fall prey to that in this season. It always had it in previous seasons, but I never felt like it was to such a nauseating degree like other shonen shows use this kind of thing. Where it's like, hey, I remember vividly so many episodes of Naruto where the fight just dead stops for an entire episode for the bad guy explaining and monologuing about some weird thing in the past and then also explaining how their power works at the same time, and just literally nothing happens, and it doesn't matter in terms of the progression of that particular fight or progression of the character development. It's just filler, and real filler. Like, not filler in terms of, hey, we're going on a fun little adventure and it's not part of the main manga plot. No, filler in terms of it doesn't need to be here, it doesn't contribute anything to any of the characters. It is not fun. It is nothing we need to know. It's just here to stop time. Maybe to give the animators more time to put actual great animation in the later episodes, right? Because we have an episode where there's mostly talking and the character's not moving around much. Then you can save budget or, people resources, human resources for later episodes. That is a valid excuse. Like, if they needed to do episode 3 the way they did it, because they were like, hey, episode 4 needs to look as amazing as possible, and if we have one episode where the characters are standing around talking to Tengen and everything about the rules get explained, we can put all our top-notch key animators on episode 4. Okay, I can deal with that. Then I can skip that bullshit episode that I don't need and enjoy the fucking Sakuga Fest in the next episode. Totally okay. I just don't like when it's actually like fused into the actual plot progression and character development of the show, where it's like, okay, can we please get on with it? So I'm glad. To make a very long story short, I'm falling prey to the episode 3 problem as well, where I just explained the whole shit to you, even though you already know what I'm talking about. But, I'm glad that Jujutsu Kaisen didn't do this. I'm glad that we were focusing on the important things in the season. It was either the glorious action or it was some neat character development sprinkled in between. That also was sometimes part of the action.
I mean, it helps that the manga has finished its run and doesn't need filler the way Naruto does.
Yes.
Did at the time, rather, I should
or
say.
Or One Piece.
Which
also has switched to a seasonal model now, which I super appreciate. They're finally taking breaks between arcs. They're finally just stopping the show
after only 1,000 episodes.
Yeah, finally they understood that they don't need to keep that shit going forever.
And yet here's Detective Conan. And yet here's Detective Conan running just as long.
Yes, but also Conan doesn't have a story.
No, it really doesn't.
But anyway, we're digressing. So yeah. Super fun season of Jujutsu Kaisen, in my opinion. I thought this was a blast. Especially the 4th episode is one of the best action episodes in anime I've seen ever. Like, I can rewatch that, I don't know how many times. I've seen it 3 times now because it's so amazing, and I watched it a couple more times probably. It's just, it looks cool, and it's so much fun, and every piece of shit you want to see get punched in the face or dismembered is happening too. So it's just a joy.
God, the meme that a friend of ours linked to that came from that episode. Jinichi, stop aura farming! So stupid, but yes. Oh man.
Yes, it's really good. Yeah, I have nothing more to add. I love the season. I am really looking forward to part 2 of season 3 whenever that is coming around. I want more Jujutsu Kaisen. Of course, I'm anxious in regards to how the ending will pan out and how it will leave me in terms of being satisfied or unsatisfied, being okay with it being continued in a new, arc, new manga, whatever, in the sequel manga. But I have the same problem now, apparently, with Chainsaw Man, which I hope wouldn't happen, but apparently people were also not happy with the ending of that. So we'll see where that goes whenever that show returns. So
I didn't hear any details about that, but I heard rumblings about it. So I have no skin in the game on Chainsaw Man, but
yeah, it's always a bummer.
Did people like the movie?
I think so. I loved it. I thought the movie. I mean, I think I did a quick review of it. I hope. Did I forget to do a quick review of the Chainsaw Man movie? Fuck.
I don't. Maybe?
I don't remember. I wouldn't need to look at our fucking review slate if I did a quick review of it.
I just remember at the time seeing a whole bunch of fan art of Reze coming out and be like, why is this happening? Oh, because the moot gotcha.
No, I forgot. I actually apparently forgot to mention it. Oh, fuck. Okay, maybe I can bring that into the quick at the dead this season. But yeah, I saw that movie in IMAX and it was fucking amazing. So I loved it. I will talk about it when the next season comes around. I can bring it up then because But I loved the movie. The person I saw it with loved the movie. Everyone in the theater loved the movie. I think that movie was fucking fantastic. It was a great continuation of the show. So if they continue in movie form or if they're gonna give it another season next, I'm looking forward to it. The problem is now in the back of my head, I have like the information. Hey, the ending apparently is not that great, and I'm like, fuck. But we'll see. Maybe I'll think differently about it than other people.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case, but...
Yes, and maybe also we'll think differently about the ending of Jujutsu Kaisen. We don't know. We're not there yet.
I mean, going by the numbers... by chapter numbers, it looks like we got about halfway through this arc, so I suspect it will finish in the next season unless they decide to spread it out in a different way. I don't know. I'm sure the production committee has decided this already like months in advance, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it, to seeing the rest of this, and I hope we'll both come away from it being rather satisfied, and if not, with a chance that the sequel manga is going to get animated and is going to wrap it up in a satisfying way. We'll see. But yeah, hey, if you like your Shonen Action and stuff, please, and haven't checked out Jujutsu Kaisen yet, what are you doing? Just get to it. It's super fun. Still is. Was for the first 2 seasons, and I think is already being that again in the 3rd season. And yeah, we're looking forward to being cursed again in the Culling Game Part 2.
That's the first time I've wanted to be cursed.
Same. And that is a wrap on the 178th episode of Anime Brain Freeze. All the music in our podcast is from the Double Dragon Neon soundtrack by the amazing Jake Kaufman. Please go to virt.bandcamp.com and check out his awesome work. Find us where all the podcasts live, but also check out animebrainfreeze.com for our review index and more. Please leave us a review or rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice if you can. Follow us on the socials or send an email to animebrainfreeze@gmail.com. We would love to read your feedback. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had a good time, and please join us again on our next episode. Macht's gut.
Take care, everybody.
Next time on Anime Brain Freeze.
All of the stars in the sky are allies.
And to win this legendary horse race, you need balls of steel.